So let me take up the first question. The Vijayanagara Empire was established in, I have asked you for the year, it is 1336 CE. I repeat, the Vijayanagara Empire was established in 1336 CE. Second question. The sons of Sangama who established the Vijayanagar Empire were, I have asked you for the founders. So the names are Harihara and Bukkaraya. Let me repeat. The sons of Sangama who established the Vijayanagara Empire were Harihara and Bukkaraya. Next, we'll move on to the third question. The capital of Vijayanagara Empire was Hampi. The capital of Vijayanagara Empire was Hampi. The emblem of Vijayanagara Empire was the boar. We otherwise name it Varaha. The first dynasty that ruled over the Vijayanagara Empire was the Sangama dynasty. I repeat, children, the first dynasty that ruled over the Vijayanagara Empire was Sangama dynasty. I hope you are all clear with the answers for these questions. We will now proceed with today's class. Salwa dynasty 1485 to 1505. Salwa Narasimha. After he took over the power in 1485 CE, he ruled for 6 years and died in 1491 CE. His sons were minors, and because of this, the kingdom was in the protection of a commander, Tuluva Narasanayaka, from 1491. Tuluva dynasty 1505 to 1567. In 1505, Veera Narasimha, son of Tuluva Narasanayaka, started his rule. After his death in 1509, his brother Krishna Devaraya came to power. Krishna Devaraya 1509 to 1529 CE. He was the famous and the greatest among the Vijayanagara rulers. He was not only a great warrior but an able administrator. He seized, that means to take control or to take power. He seized the Shivanasamudra fort from the Ummattur chief Gangaraja in 1510 CE. Later, he won the Raichur fort, which is in the north of Karnataka. He supported the Portuguese to capture Goa from Vijayapura Sultan. In 1513, he won the Udaigiri fort, which is in Kanyakumari district of Tamil Nadu. In 1518, he captured Kathak, the capital of Ganapati Prataparudra, who was a Kalinga king. By defeating him, he married his daughter Jagan Mohini. He got released, the son of king who was imprisoned by the Bahmani prime minister, and restored him to power in Bedir. For this incident, he got the title Yavana Raja Pratishthapanacharya. I repeat the title, children. Yavana Raja Pratishthapanacharya, which means the restorer of the Yavana kingdom, the Muslim kingdom. The Vijayanagara kingdom was expanded in all four directions at the time of his death in 1529 CE. Krishnadevaraya encouraged Telugu literature. Because of this, he got the title Andhra Bhoja. He himself was a poet and he wrote Amukta Malyada in Telugu. There were 8 famous scholars called Ashtadiggajas in his kingdom. I repeat, he wrote Amukta Malyada in Telugu, and because he encouraged Telugu literature, he got the title Andhra Bhoja. There were 8 famous scholars called Ashtadiggajas in his court. Krishnadevaraya had 2 sons, Achyutaraya and Sadashivaraya. Achyutaraya ruled from 1530 to 1542 CE. After him, his brother Sadashivaraya came to power. Since he was a minor and he was unable to rule, Ramaraya, who was the son-in-law of Krishnadevaraya, who belonged to the Aravidu dynasty, took over the responsibility of the administration of Vijayanagara Empire. He expanded the kingdom, which in turn led to the increase in the number of enemies. Ramaraya captured Vijayapura and Golconda. So this enraged the Bahmani sultans, as those regions belonged to them. The Bahmani kingdom was established on the banks of the river Krishna in 1347 CE. Since then, there were many conflicts that arose, often between the Bahmani sultans and the Vijayanagara rulers. The Bahmani sultans themselves had a lot of differences and conflicts between them. But they still united together to defeat the Vijayanagara army, as they were very jealous on the richness and glory of the Vijayanagara empire. And this was not only the reason, children, they were also enraged by Ramaraya. So why were they angry? Because he captured their regions like Golconda and Vijayapura. So they wanted to defeat him, as he was a very powerful ruler. So then they began the Rakkasa Tangadi battle on 23rd January 1565 CE. This battle is otherwise called the Battle of Talikot. I repeat, children, this battle began on 23rd January 1565 CE between the Bahmani sultans and the Vijayanagara rulers. And this battle was otherwise called the Battle of Talikot. Ramaraya died in the war, and his sons Tirumala and Venkata escaped from the battlefield and they ran away to Penakonda. Later, the Aravidu dynasty started its rule from 1570 and they ruled up till 1646 CE. They made Penakonda as their capital initially, later Chandragiri and then Vellore. By this war, the feudal chiefs of Mysuru, Keladi, Chitradurga, Yelahanka and Surapura became independent rulers in Karnataka. Now children, let us learn who these feudal chiefs were. In those days, the king owned all the land and he used to grant a portion of his land in return for loyalty, protection and service to the tenant. and the tenant-in-chief would own the land directly from the king, and they were all considered to be subordinates to the king. But later, after this war, they all considered themselves to be independent rulers, and hence they started their own rule. So that's what the line means. The feudal chiefs of Mysuru, Keladi, Chitradurga, Yelahanka and Surapura became independent rulers in Karnataka. I hope it's clear, children. So children, with this, I complete today's class. We'll then learn about the cultural contributions, art, and other details about the Vijayanagara Empire in the next class. And after this slide, you will be having an assignment slide. I request you all to kindly attend the questions, and we'll then discuss the answers in the next class. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.